So like most professors at MIT, I have a rich group of students, postdocs, and research scientists that work with me. I am myself not an experimentalist, but a lot of the work that takes place in my group is experimental work, and so I have a state-of-the-art heat transfer laboratory, and I work with colleagues, research scientists, postdocs, and so on, that actually supervise the day-to-day work that takes place in those, in my lab. We have group meetings. That's fairly common. I try to see the students, I would say, at least once a week. Sometimes that's incompatible with my other commitments. But the idea is to provide advice, but also actually learn from the students. One of the things I like best about MIT is that the students are definitely not passive. They come in with their own ideas, and they very often, not always, but mostly, they actually drive the research as opposed to just wait to be told what to do with the work, either in the lab or if they're doing modeling work with codes and so on. So first, let me say that teaching was one of the main reasons why I came back from a national lab to academia. I wanted to teach, and it's one of the activities that I do here at the Institute that gratify me the most. So, very important. I try never to forget that this is also a school. It's not just a research institute. It's also very much a university, and so part of our mission, in fact, possibly the most important mission that we have, is indeed to develop the next generation of engineers, scientists, technology leaders, and all of that. I tend to emphasize in all the classes that I teach fundamentals. So I really like the students to understand the basic physical principles and how they apply to a specific idea or to a specific concept. And I think that's important also when you think about innovation. There is an element which is creativity, of course. It's a fundamental element of innovation is creativity, but there is also a rigor that comes from very, very firm fundamentals. And if you don't marry the two, you can have creative ideas that don't work or don't make any sense. Or if you don't have creativity and you just follow, you just do scientific work at the basic level, you can. It's unlikely that you're going to come up with a product or with an idea that is going to have a practical application. So the two things have to be brought together. In the type of classes that I teach do not lend themselves very easily to generating innovations during the classes. These are not, for example, design classes. I don't teach design classes, and that's, I think, where you may see more of a generation of new ideas done in the class. But I do use my classes also to recruit good students for my research group, and that has happened over and over again. And you can tell from the interaction with the students, from the type of questions that they ask, both in the classroom as well as outside, from the interest that they display in certain topics versus others, whether they're going to make good research assistants in the lab or in my group. And so I definitely leverage the teaching experience to enrich my research group.